Imagine floating alone, hundreds of miles above the Earth. You are surrounded by the profound silence of space, a quiet so deep it feels like nothing you have ever experienced before. This was the world of Yang Liwei, China's first astronaut, during his historic mission in 2003. He was inside his Shenzhou 5 spacecraft, a tiny metal capsule suspended in the vast, dark emptiness. Everything was going according to plan. The mission was a triumph of engineering and human courage. But then, something completely unexpected happened. A sound broke the silence. It wasn't a mechanical hum or the familiar whir of the life support systems. It was a knock. The sound was distinct and startling. Yang described it as someone knocking on the body of the spaceship, just as someone might knock on an iron bucket with a wooden hammer. It came without warning, a sudden sharp rap against the hull of his capsule. In the solitude of space, any unexpected noise is a cause for immediate concern. An astronaut's mind is trained to analyze every single detail, every light, every sound. A strange noise could signal a critical failure, a meteoroid impact, or something else entirely unknown. Yang felt a shiver of nervousness, his senses on high alert as he tried to pinpoint the source of this bizarre interruption. His training kicked in instantly. He moved carefully around the small cabin, pressing his ear against the interior walls of the spacecraft. He was trying to locate where the sound was coming from. Was it coming from outside? Or was it something inside the capsule that he hadn't noticed before? The sound would come and go, repeating intermittently without any discernible pattern or rhythm. It was a complete mystery. He checked his instruments, looking for any sign of a pressure drop, a system malfunction, or an external impact. But everything appeared normal. The spacecraft was stable and all systems were green. The knocking sound had no logical explanation. This experience left a deep and lasting impression on Yang Liwei. He was a highly trained taikonaut, a man of science and precision, yet he was faced with something that defied immediate explanation. He was not prone to flights of fancy or imagining things. The sound was real, it was physical, and it was happening right outside his window in a place where sound wasn't supposed to exist at all. Back on Earth, he shared his strange story with the mission engineers and experts, but even they couldn't provide a definitive answer. The knock in the cosmos became a puzzle, a small but significant mystery from the dawn of China's journey into space. To truly understand why Yang Liwei's experience was so perplexing, we need to remember a fundamental rule of physics. Sound, as we know it on Earth, needs a medium to travel through. It is a vibration that moves through air, water, or solid objects. Think of it like ripples spreading across a pond after you toss in a stone. The ripples need the water to move. In the vast expanse of space, there is no air. It is a vacuum, an almost perfect emptiness. Without a medium like air to carry the vibrations, sound simply cannot travel. Space is, for all intents and purposes, silent. It's a concept that is difficult to fully grasp because our lives on Earth are constantly filled with noise. This is why hearing a knock on the outside of a spacecraft is so shocking. An astronaut is completely isolated inside their vessel, protected from the harsh vacuum of space. The silence outside is absolute. You could set off the loudest explosion imaginable just a few feet from a spaceship, and an astronaut inside would not hear a thing through the vacuum. The only sounds they should hear are the ones created inside their own environment. The hum of the fans circulating air, the clicks of switches, the sound of their own breathing, or vibrations traveling directly through the spacecraft's structure. A sound that seems to come from the outside is therefore a scientific impossibility. This is why mission control and scientists take such reports very seriously. Any unexpected noise could be a sign of a physical event happening directly to the spacecraft. For example, a tiny piece of space debris, even one as small as a grain of sand, could strike the hull at incredible speeds. Such an impact would create a vibration that travels through the metal structure of the ship, which the astronaut inside could then hear as a ping or a knock. This is one of the most common and logical explanations for these strange sounds. The spacecraft itself is also a source of potential noises that can be unsettling. The extreme temperature changes in space are another major factor. As a spacecraft orbits the Earth, it moves from direct, intense sunlight into the planet's cold shadow. This can cause the temperature of the outer hull to fluctuate by hundreds of degrees in a very short amount of time. The metal and other materials of the spacecraft expand when heated and contract when cooled. This constant thermal stress can cause parts of the ship's structure to shift, creak, or pop. These sounds, created by the ship itself, can be surprisingly loud and could easily be mistaken for an external knock. What makes Yang Liwei's story even more compelling is that he is not the only one to have experienced something like this. The mystery of strange sounds in space is a shared phenomenon among the small community of people who have left our world behind. Astronauts from various space programs, including NASA, have reported hearing unexplained noises during their missions. These accounts, stretching back decades, add weight to the idea that these are not just isolated incidents or figments of an astronaut's imagination. The vacuum of space may be silent, but the experience of traveling through it is apparently not always so quiet. For instance, some astronauts on the Apollo missions on their way to the moon reported hearing strange music-like sounds through their headsets when their spacecraft was on the far side of the moon. At that point, they were completely cut off from all radio contact with Earth. The sounds were described as an otherworldly whistling or whooshing noise. While later analysis suggested the cause was likely radio interference between the electronics of the two spacecraft modules, the experience was deeply unsettling for the astronauts at the time. It was another case of an unexplained sound in a place where they expected only silence. These shared experiences create a unique bond among astronauts. They have all lived in an environment that is completely alien to human existence, and they have all had to trust their lives to the complex machines that keep them safe. When one of them reports something strange, the others listen with a deep sense of understanding. They know the sounds of their ships inside and out. They are trained to distinguish between a normal creak and a sound that signals danger. So when a veteran astronaut says they heard something they can't explain, it carries a lot of credibility. It becomes a part of the collective lore of space travel. Even with these other reports, the specific knocking sound that Yang Liwei described remains particularly mysterious. While thermal expansion or micrometeoroid impacts are plausible scientific explanations, no one has been able to definitively say, yes, that is what caused the sound. Yang himself has said that the noise did not sound like it was coming from inside the ship, but from the outside. The mystery has been discussed and debated, but without a recording or more data, it remains an unsolved piece of space history. It's a reminder that even in our most technologically advanced endeavors, there are still things that we can't quite figure out. The story of Yang Liwei's mysterious knock is more than just a strange anecdote from a space mission. It represents something much larger and more important about science and our relationship with the universe. It highlights the fact that no matter how much we learn, there will always be mysteries waiting for us just beyond the edge of our understanding. These unexplained events are not failures of science. They are the very things that drive science forward. It is the pursuit of answers to these puzzles that leads to new discoveries, new technologies, and a deeper appreciation for the cosmos we inhabit. Every great scientific journey begins with a question that doesn't have an easy answer. Why do the stars shine? What is beyond our galaxy? Are we alone in the universe? The unexplained knock on the Shenzhou 5 is a smaller, more personal version of these grand questions. It is a direct, tangible experience that defies simple explanation. It sparks our curiosity and makes us wonder. Could it have been space debris? Was it just the ship contracting? Or could it have been something else, something we haven't even thought of yet? The fact that we don't know for sure is what makes the story so powerful and enduring. This sense of wonder is essential for human progress. It is what inspires a young student to study physics, an engineer to design a better rocket, or an astronaut to volunteer for a dangerous mission. Mysteries like the sound in space remind us that the universe is not a fully solved equation. It is a vast, complex, and often surprising place. There are still countless wonders waiting to be discovered, from the smallest particles to the largest galactic structures. The journey of exploration is not just about confirming what we already know. It's about venturing into the unknown and being open to the unexpected. So, the next time you look up at the night sky, think about Yang Liwei floating alone in his capsule, hearing that strange and inexplicable knock. Think about all the unanswered questions that space still holds. The universe is full of mysteries, big and small, and each one is an invitation. It is an invitation to be curious, to ask questions, and to keep exploring. The knocking sound may never be fully explained, but its legacy is clear. It serves as a beautiful reminder that our greatest adventures are often found not in the answers we have, but in the questions we have yet to solve.